Hey guys, this is Ted from Blade Outlaws. So today we are featuring a video from Shotgun FPV. Shotgun is actually a local pilot in Wisconsin as well that I've known for at least 7 years. So he's kind of putting videos on our channel for a little bit now. Once in a while we'll post him. We're still going to post Turtle Mode next week. And Seth, hopefully he has to get out flying too. So thanks for watching and enjoy Shotgun FPV. Check him out on YouTube.
Take, if you will, the picture of you dying caves and a kiss. The sweat of your body covers me. Can you, my darling, can you picture this? If you can, a courtyard, an ocean of violets and bloom. Animals try curious poses. They feel the heat between me and you. Just see me standing alone in a world that's so cold, so cold. Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry. This is what it sounds like when doves cry. This is what it sounds like when doves cry. This is what it sounds like when doves cry. This is what it sounds like when doves cry. Touch, if you will, my stomach. Feel how it trembles inside. You got the butterflies all tied up. Don't make me chase you. Even doves have pride. Just leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold. Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
I'm stuck on you. I'm stuck on you. I'm stuck on I'm stuck on you. Stuck on. Stuck on you. Stuck on. I'm stuck on you. Stuck on. Stuck on. Stuck on. Stuck on you. Stuck on. I'm stuck on you. I'm stuck on you. I'm stuck
Hello.
Woo!
I'm just watching you set up your green screen back there, Shotgun. Just laughing my butt off.
Nice.
I didn't know if you could do anything with it, so
I don't even know. I think you can probably edit your camera on your end because I can edit, like, I can blur my background out on mine. But
I have no idea how to do any of that.
yeah. But I'm glitching a little bit.
Watching the same.
Is it glitching on your guys' end? Normally when we get this many people, it starts to lag out.
Doesn't seem like it.
See a little flutter maybe, but it's not too bad.
Okay.
Just realized I was muted. That's cool.
Oh, awesome. That's all right. Okay, well, how's it going, everybody? This is the Blade Outlaw podcast / live stream that we do, and we're not doing it on a regular basis, but we're doing it, right? So
Yeah.
normally what we do is we talk a little bit about what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks. So I guess we want to start with Shotgun. He's adding a new addition to our team. We posted a video for him today that was his flying. He actually did all the editing on it. I just plopped it into our YouTube channel. So I've known you for like, what, 7 or 8 years now we've been flying?
At least.
Yeah, for a long time. But you mainly race though, right?
Yeah, nowadays, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what have you been up to lately in the last couple weeks or so, or just the start of the summer? Any racing events or anything crazy going on?
Well, yeah, one so far, but thankfully, our chapter organizer likes to schedule races on weekend that I work. So, so I've only been able to make it to one, and they're doing a double global qualifier on Sunday, but I work this weekend, so I won't be at that either.
Oh, okay.
But
I just made you
That's
like
the
center
double header
screen.
where
Hold on here.
Just
There we
get-
go. I'm just reorganizing our screen a little better.
You just talked.
what was that, John?
Sorry, John.
Would you say that's like the double header where normally you get 10 packs, but you get 20 because you're doing
Right.
2 rounds of it?
Yep.
Nice. What's the deal with the zipper format this year? You got 2 different GQ tracks now.
Yeah.
I haven't
they're-
been keeping up with it, but that's confusing.
I keep looking up at you on my screen and
The camera. That's right.
yeah, there's like a early season and then like a late season global qualifier, and then they're gonna combine them at the end or something for champs. I'm not
I don't
exactly
quite get
sure.
it.
Yeah.
There's 2 totally different tracks with it this year.
Right. Yeah, I didn't really follow a whole lot of that either because it doesn't. I'm never going to go to champs, so I just really love doing the global qualifier because it's the only race that I do where I'm just racing myself, and I'm not just getting my ass kicked by Spicy and everybody else.
I always think it's
Everybody
fun
else.
seeing yourself on the global leaderboard. I mean, even if you suck, it's cool to see yourself up there with like all the other pilots and
Right.
kind of get a generalization of. I think it like where me and Shotgun race, man. There's a lot of good pilots there. You could go to that track and
Yeah.
feel like you're pretty horrible, but like in the bigger picture, you're better than a lot of pilots. And the global qualifier kind of like
Yeah,
lets you see that broader picture a little bit.
I always
You
like
only
to
race
say-
with top pros, man. They seem like intimidatingly good.
Yeah, I like to say I'm the fastest slow guy in the state.
There you go.
Yeah. I was rookie I didn't start getting a couple sportsmen's till I was at least like 2 years in. And
Right.
I haven't been in that many years. So I spent 2 years in rookie class for sure.
Yeah, I've spent 7 years in rookie class. I just don't have. I can't. I work 12-hour shifts and
Yeah.
and my wife and me work opposite shifts. So it's like I'm either at work or I'm dealing with a kid. So I don't.
Sounds like us.
I can't just fly
I haven't been
50
at the
packs
track.
a week.
No.
Like the last 2 years, I was probably at the track 3 or 4 days a week, and I've only been there like every other week, like one day now. This summer, I don't know. I'm gonna try to clear off my schedule as much as I can pretty quickly, though. I gotta start getting some time in before it's next winter already.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of my growth as a racer honestly happens in the sim, though. I put in hardcore hours in the sim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just, yeah.
Spicy got a hold of a new computer, and he's been in the sim, man. When he got a new computer, all of a sudden his wife probably didn't see him for a month, man. He was
right
too. He was one of them that always kind of talked about not really putting much faith in the sim either, though. But that's just because he had a piece of crap computer. It turns out.
See, my computer handles the sim awesomely, but I use my big screen TV as a monitor, so it doesn't have like the 120 refresh rate that really helps with sims.
Oh yeah.
And
refresh rate does help. I bought a monitor that, I don't know, 165 or something, which isn't breaking the sound barrier, but it's better than nothing.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about that shit right now, but isn't that like as high as it goes now, or do they have ones higher?
Sad.
They go higher.
Oh, nerd guy here.
Yeah,
240 is about the cutoff point. Otherwise, 165 is like the happy medium, is where you want to be at.
Okay.
I have 3 of them.
So I'm willing to bet this TV is only like 60.
TVs are usually about 60 to 75.
Yeah, and this thing's like 10 years old, so
I mean, it works.
Yeah, but it's wonderful though, because I have it on like an old Ashley furniture table that like pops out, and you would like sit and eat at. And so when I have my driving sim all set up, it pops out and the whole rig slides right underneath it. So like it's literally right at like windshield length, so it's like I'm actually in a car. And then I have VR on top of it, so then you're really, really in the car.
Yeah, I have a full driving sim over here too.
Yeah, I just need to get a cable.
I saw a little Facebook reel of a guy that set up a tank sim, and he had these weird cranks in his room.
I saw that.
And he had something set up, and he was like loading soda bottles in like a fake barrel. Where it was able to shoot. Like it was a stupid way to play the game, but it looked really fun to do too.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's awesome.
So, what about you, Turtle Mode? Have you been flying or anything last couple weeks? Last time we talked,
not a whole lot. We did that drone video shoot the other weekend, and I was out with Nate.
Let's talk about that.
One day this week, we met up to get our video files put together, and so we met at the track at the AMA field here in Wausau and raced for a few hours. So I was out once this week. Mainly, I've been on the computer doing CAD like crazy. Like last couple weeks, I just been working on this Source One frame that I'm building for my camera rig, but I'm also doing all the like 3D printed parts for it now. So I got like an antenna holder, GPS holder, spot for my remote ID, capacitor, got like dust guards with like spots for cables. Got this giant night vision camera that I built to mount.
Whoops.
So I'm going to release this as like a squash or like a slam build. It takes the 35 millimeter standoffs and brings it down to 22. And the last thing I'm going to be working on is, this is like a GoPro mount that I printed, but I don't know. I looked at like a million GoPro mounts and I don't like any of them. So I'm going to redo my own GoPro mount, and then I'm going to put a battery box on top of this thing too. And then I'll offer it as like a TPU kit with standoffs and whatnot. So I've been putting in hardcore time on the computer though. I'm ready for a break from it, but I'm kind of one of these like all or nothing kind of people. Like if I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it until it's done, even if it kills me, type of thing. Otherwise, I'll just pick at it here and there, and it'll never go anywhere.
Right. That's cool. I'm excited to see that on the store. That's
pretty much my deal lately, and I was contacted by Castle Crash FPV. I think Fly High FPV is kind of associated with that. It's a deal down, I want to say Kentucky or Alabama.
I think it's South Carolina.
So yeah, it's a southern state down there. I should have like research that a little bit more before bringing it up. But anyways, they asked for a sponsorship, so I'm gonna send them some, I don't know, some various goodies down there to hand out at their event.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I know.
Other than that, I don't know. Not
That's
too much
it?
else new.
Yeah. Seth?
I've had time for a sim. That's about it.
For the sim, yeah.
Because weather here has been crap and busy with work, and then weekends have been overfilled with stuff I've had planned for a while.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully I might try to get out Sunday at the parking ramps here, because I've been wanting to try to fly over in that area.
At the parking ramp?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's a parking ramp that's no longer used.
Oh.
So if I get asked to leave, I'll leave, obviously. But
yeah.
What was that?
But other than that, I'm hopefully trying to get out there Sunday, and then maybe try to get out somewhere during the week.
Yeah.
I got to find a couple more spots here in town.
Shotgun was asking where that is. Is that at just in Fond du Lac? The parking ramp?
Yeah.
I'm gonna want to fly that. That'd be cool.
I'm only going to run my 3-inch there. I'm still not good enough with the 5-inch to
Come on.
be in close places.
Yeah.
I've flying the 5-inch. It just feels so heavy to me, and it just glides way more. I've noticed.
Yeah,
Well,
you'll learn
Whenever
to
we
love
meet
that
up-
weight.
Whenever we meet up, I'll have to let you fly my 7-inch, because
Yeah, that's gonna be flying like a
despite
bus.
being really big,
You don't wanna
it's
trust me
really
with that.
stable and it's really almost floaty feeling.
Yeah.
I
Just
can't
flew
land to
Yates,
save
which
my
is
life.
kind of similar to mine. And man, you could just hover that thing like practically dead still. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just not twitchy like the small ones. It'll be an interesting experience for you if you've never flown a bigger one.
I think I flew one 7-inch a long time ago. It was a buddy of mine, but I couldn't do anything with it. I was afraid to even flip it or anything, because I felt like it was just gonna travel forever. Just drop for a long time. But
Yeah, they're different. They just sit like real nice though. If you just take off and want to do like a real slow hover, boy, they do that type of thing just super well.
is
This
that's
thing-
a 7-inch?
Nice.
Oh, that
Yeah,
thing's
this thing's a
crazy.
freaking tank.
I would not.
It's
want
got
to get hit by
a
that thing.
session and a hero mount.
Wow.
Sweet.
Yeah, you can't even feel it when you have both cameras in it. You can't even tell.
What are you making, like 3D video or what? How come you're doing 2 cameras?
Just because I needed to make weight.
Oh.
Yeah,
For the Street League spec.
without both cameras in it, it wouldn't. What is it, like 1380? Is that what it is, or is it 1280?
1280.
1280. Yeah. Yeah, I think I was a little shy with just the GoPro in it, so I had to put the session on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
But it's a lot of fun. I love flying that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Hmm.
I'm less inclined to build a 5-inch after I've been racing Street League. I mean, I still enjoy racing 5-inch quads, but I don't know. The 7-inch has a lot more capability overall. I think it sacrifices a little bit of the super fast agility, I guess, but you got better cruise time, better speed overall. Carry a little bit, carry cameras more easily. That single GoPro, you hardly even know that thing is on the 7-inch one.
No, like I said, I put 2 of them on mine, plus a big ass 5S 2200 mAh lipo, and
that's what I'm going to be building a battery box for on mine, is a 5S 2200 mAh. But I'll probably do 3-4 different sizes in the long run. And I'll probably end up doing 3-4 different. What do you guys think are the most popular freestyle cameras? I want to do some more cameras, because this one that I picked is this Cat 3 Mini. It's meant for night vision, but it's probably not the most popular camera. It's humongous. It's got this jumbo lens.
You talking analog or
digital?
I guess both. I'm probably gonna do some kits for digital too. Obviously, that's probably more popular than analog these days.
I would think almost everybody flies 03s or Vistas now. I mean, from what I've heard, walk snails dying out. But
Yeah,
that
that's what I heard
seems
too.
like they're going through some quality issues with like parts and service and stuff, huh?
Yeah,
I heard a little bit about that.
I feel like they would recover from it. They seem to be like well loved for the tiny whoop stuff and everything. They're the only ones that are making really small cameras, right, and video transmitters for tiny whoops. But
I've heard they have really nice night vision cameras too for digital systems.
oh, really?
When I was kind of researching stuff to fly at night to do this drone show, someone suggested that, which is the last thing I thought of myself.
Yeah.
You know?
So, can you talk about that a little bit? The drone show? Are you allowed to talk about?
Yeah. To some, so we went down. It was in De Pere, Wisconsin. It was an event called Celebrate De Pere, and it was a nice area. They kind of a park on the side of a lake with like a concert ground, so they had a stage and whatnot, and just kind of a mid-size event.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh no!
Turtle mode. Someone message him. I don't even have Facebook open.
I got
I
him.
have my phone. Oh,
Okay.
Seth will get to it before me.
I'm glad that we all didn't freeze. Turtle, are you there? I'm
It's
gonna,
way up in the sticks.
no.
I think I spelled that wrong, but whatever.
No, that was right.
I'm gonna wait till I see him unfreeze on my sidebar here, so we don't have to make him feel awkward.
What's up, buddy?
I hear the cat. What did you open, by the way, Sam? Shotgun.
What do you mean?
What?
were opening
You're opening
packages.
packages, and I saw motors. I saw motors. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I got
those
all
look like FPV
I got all
drones.
kinds of motors today. I got like four sets of. I've never seen it before. I never even heard of this store before, but it was. I found out about them because of the one who shall not be named. Was posting all about it, and I was like, I've never even heard of that store. So I went and checked it out, and they had like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of used motors, which I've
Whoa.
never seen on an actual store before, and they were like dirt cheap.
Yeah,
So
Used on a store,
snatched
huh?
them all up.
that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, they say they're used, but they look pretty new. Like these look brand new.
I think if I was selling used stuff in my store, I would make damn sure it was in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was literally like $7 a motor, so I wasn't extremely worried about it. Uh-oh. I think my headphones
Are they dead?
might have just died. Yep, they definitely died.
All the problems today.
Now I kind of
Yeah.
don't know what to do.
I can hear you still. Can you hear us?
Definitely not.
No.
No. Well, Turtle,
Turtle mode can.
you can
continue
continue
his
where
Yeah,
you were
story.
I could
left off.
continue on. Yeah. So we got down to the show in De Pere. We never had been there before, and it's a pretty crowded little town. It's kind of on the outskirts of Green Bay, I guess. And it was they wanted action FPV shots, and it was so crowded. There were like buildings right behind us.
I saw the
And-
cars too. I was like, oh man, like what if
we
their
got
drones
there
come?
and like we were just like, oh my god, how are we even gonna get in here? There's so many cars and stuff, and so we're calling them up, and actually getting in wasn't too bad. We got up to like some barricades and just told them we were at the drone show, and right in we went. Got a nice parking spot, so that was smooth.
Did they really
we
not
had
know?
again.
Sorry,
Well,
did they really
they-
not? I mean, because how did they expect you to do any kind of FPV stuff there? I mean, unless you had like a sub 250 or something.
Yeah,
Pablo Pico.
I think they
should've
just
loaned you
don't
that.
know completely. I mean, they do this drone show, but like they have background in IT and other various things, and they just decided they're going to get into this business venture of putting on these drone shows. So they know how to like create the clusters on their computers and stuff, and they just decided that's what they're going to do and went at it. But like they were not like recreational or hobbyist drone people like us. So they just that's not their aerial photography isn't their thing. You know, their thing is specifically this big
For
show.
programming it, and doing the show. Yeah.
But like they even knew this area was pretty tight because they have 300 drones now and they were only able to launch 150. So they only had half of their fleet at this particular event. It was so squished
That was
in
only
there.
half, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. And it's
That's
pretty
bananas.
impressive even with half. Yeah. But we kind of had to have a conversation with them that basically to the effect that we don't think we could do FPV safely in that environment. And we ended up using like a DJI Mavic 3 to get, we still got some really good shots. We just sent them the video this week and they're going to be going through it and doing like a professional edit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll get some footage to share with you guys once we're just kind of waiting on them to do their thing.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they were more or less happy with the shoot. They have a couple new dates coming up in June and July that they didn't really want to like disclose the locations on yet and whatnot. They're still, you know, some of these events are kind of secretive about it, I guess, until they want to do their PR release. But yeah, we got a couple other events that we'll probably end up doing here in the next few months with them. So hopefully these events sound like they might be in a little bit bigger area where maybe we can do some of like the more action shots that they're looking for. So yeah, it's been cool. They seem like really nice guys. It was a stressful deal, you know, like their show didn't go off perfectly without a hitch this time. It was kind of supposed to synchronize with a song at the end of this performance, and it got to the end there and they went to hit launch and just nothing happened. It just was like every 150 drone was sitting there. So we actually went through and power cycled 150 drones like as fast as we could. And they kind of had to like reboot their system, and they found out, you know, eventually they did find out it was one of their big antennas was
I saw those
faulty.
those big white ones that were on those poles in that picture. I was like, wow, those look like some crazy patching.
Yeah,
crazy,
one of those had like a factory defect, and it was just doing something sketchy, and they figured that out and hooked a new one up, and then the show was in the air like just like that. But
oh jeez,
I felt like bad for the, you know, as like the photographers or whatever working with them, you felt bad for them because like, oh, you could just imagine the stress, you know.
Yep, and
a
it's
lot
like, I
of
don't even know how to help you.
there.
I could take my Maverick and do some circles with it, and if the light's on, I will.
It's funny you should say that because I was actually in the crowd waiting for the drone show. And when they launched the Mavic and it flew over, everybody was like, oh,
Yeah.
there it is. It's starting. And I'm like, nope, that's not it.
That's awesome. That's funny.
Yeah.
I would have just, I was so torn between going there because it was so late at night and I didn't want to leave Rachel by herself for whatever reason. But I guess like I would take the Pavo Pico and fly that because that just seems so much safer over that kind of amount, like in that kind of an environment, but around that many people too. Like even with your big one, if you collide with one of those drones with the lights off that you don't see, you have no clue where that thing is going. It could go 100 yards away from it if it starts spinning out of control.
I think, you know, we talked with them about like different creative ideas, what we can do, what we can't do. And I think they have kind of a better understanding of our capabilities. Their company, I don't know if I mentioned their name. That's Northern Lights Drone Shows is their company. And they got a website if you want to look them up. But I think ideally they have some property, you know, where their company works out of that has a field or whatever that they do some testing in and whatnot. We'd like to set up like a closed photo shoot because at their real show, they'll put up like one display of drones that are lit up. And what you can't see is right behind it, there's a whole nother sheet of them. And those ones are moving around and getting ready to light up. So when one goes dark, the next one lights up. And the bigger their shows, the more of these tiers of them there are. So you can't just fly through the swarm because there's not only dark ones, but they're moving dark ones behind it. And there's just no way you could ever predict that.
Yeah.
But like in a closed shoot environment, they could just put up a constellation of lit up ones and get the dark ones out of there, so we know
Yeah.
they're all just lit up, and then they could freeze
And shoot the
for as
gap.
long as we wanted, so we could just run pack after pack into like different constellations or whatever you want to call them.
That sounds way better.
That
sounds better than doing it.
The way we could get the most, the best footage and the most professional looking stuff,
Yep.
and do it
Oh.
safely at the same time.
They should be hopping.
So
that
I
up.
hope they go for that. It sounded like
yeah, they need to do that.
it sounded like they're open to just different,
Just a
collaborative
one-man
ideas.
show. Just do it at some baseball field or something really quick.
Right.
I don't know. That seems so much better because you could move all the drones out of the way. You could shoot through gaps that are tighter and make it look way better. And honestly, in the video that they're gonna post, they're not gonna see the crowd of people on the ground. Like either way, they're not gonna see that there's no one watching it. So
I think like for this last show, that Mavic was the tool for the job too.
yeah,
Despite it's not like crazy action shots, it got really nice video though of it, and it gets the whole thing in the screen, and it gets the stage below it and the city lights and stuff. It's probably superior to like GoPro quality camera footage.
Yep.
So hopefully they're happy with it. I mean, they seem to be,
Yeah.
and they knew that's what they were going to get.
Yeah.
What do you mean? GoPro works so well in low light.
I don't know. I'm not that experienced with GoPros. This is the first one I've ever owned, and I've never.
That was
turned it on yet.
sarcasm.
Yep.
They
Some
are
of them-
notoriously
Yeah.
horrible in low light.
Yeah.
So is
Yeah,
there
so-
anything you can do to improve that? Do they have any lenses or any?
Change your shutter speed. Lower your shutter speed by a lot. The lowest you can go on a GoPro, I think, is 24.
I'm gonna
And
need to research.
Yeah.
some of that
Yeah.
to
You
get the
either
best
have
possible up.
crazy motion blur or dark footage.
yep.
That's your choices.
Yeah.
Is the like field of view? Does that affect it much?
No.
'Cause
No,
I
that's
think
just
we
digitally changed. That actually doesn't change the lens. If I'm correct with that, I think that just changes in software by shutting the. So
I just barely looked at. Well, I'm designing this GoPro camera mount, so I wanted to know how wide the thing actually looked, so it wasn't getting the pad and the.
oh yeah,
In
Frame.
super view, you literally have to have
It's
like
quite wide. Yeah, it's like
you have to
170
have,
degree or
like, the
something
mount-
degrees. It's
the
practically
mount
flat.
cannot stick in front of the lens at all, or else it'll see
I
it.
kind of ruled out that I'm just not going to use that one because I want some lens protection, like a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I usually shoot in just wide. I mean, super view is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
it almost looks unrealistic. I prefer wide.
They suggested that like mountain biking through trails is like a good application for that super view and the little
Close-up
I was
stuff.
looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might make your mountain bike footage look a lot more intense than otherwise just riding a bike down a trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
great though. I love them. I mean, I've got a few different. I just like found random weird lenses for them on Amazon. Like this one is a wait, is it macro? Is that what it is?
Macro. Sounds
Macro,
right.
like
I like
super-
Macro
macro
lens.
lenses or
Yeah,
macro
macro.
photography.
Yeah, this is a macro lens. You probably can't see that, but look at how
Thick. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
how that
Looks like
sticks out
has a
like
big
that.
old bubble on it.
Yeah, but you could really get like right on things, and
I'm gonna
it's
buy
really
one of
awesome
those.
for
That's fun. I like
yeah,
taking pictures of plants really close and bugs and
Right.
stuff.
and at like 4K to 120 frames a second, you can slow it way down so you can get some sweet B-roll.
Yeah.
And then this is probably my favorite one. This is a anamorphic lens for the GoPro. So you probably won't be able to see that either, but it's like it's concaved, but in
Oh,
one
yeah. See
way.
it.
So
I think I read
it
some
takes your
articles.
footage and like stretches it out. And in
Wow.
post, you actually have to like change. Whoops! You have to actually change it to anamorphic, and then it creates that super widescreen look with the bars on top and everything, and it looks real awesome.
Yeah. I want that ringtone, by the way.
Oh, it's on Zedge.
Oh yeah. I'll have to find
Yeah, Just look up
You need a
just look up
Samsung, not an iPhone.
Joan noises on Zedge.
There's a way to work around it for iPhone, Seth.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
getting rid of my iPhone. I'm going to Samsung.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Because he's
Open
smart.
source,
iPhone.
baby.
Oh,
Because
Open
iPhone.
source. Yeah.
yeah. I've always been an Android guy.
I had an Android and then I went to iPhone because I got it for free.
I just
mostly use Android, but I went to iPhone for a while, and I didn't have any problem with iPhone per se. It was just as good of an experience. But I will say it
don't
was
get
really easy to
notifications.
move from Droid to iPhone, and then when I wanted to move back, it was really a pain in the ass to move my credit cards and stuff. Like,
Oh, I know.
Apple really wanted to hold on to that stuff dearly.
Yeah.
That's why
I
you
just-
gotta take them off before you trade in your phone.
Yeah. I don't want my phone to tell me what I can and cannot do with it. You know,
Yep.
and Android
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
do that at all. Because I do all I do all my stuff that I shouldn't do on a computer on my phone. And you can't do that with an iPhone. Like you can't download uTorrent from the Apple Store. But you can download it from Google Play.
Yeah. There's there's a little bit of functionality like that. Like I use BL Hilly and I use Betaflight, and I think those are they're not even like in the Android store. You got to directly download them off the web. And I don't think there's any option to do that type of thing with Apple.
No,
Yeah.
there's
No.
not.
I've never done anything with a drone on my phone yet. Even though I
You
have
can
like
download like real Betaflight. If you go on Betaflight on GitHub, they got an Android download, and it is like
Yeah.
legit Betaflight. It's not like the Speedy B, like almost Betaflight type stuff.
oh that
Yeah.
there's a difference.
Between Speedy
Yeah.
B.
Speedy B is
Yeah.
an aftermarket version of it, that has most of
Oh.
the functionality, but there's official Betaflight too. But it's not in the App Store. You gotta trust their sketchy download and just ignore your phone's warning and put her on there.
Yeah.
So
Were you-
then, do you just need a flight controller that has Bluetooth or something? 'Cause
Yeah.
I seen that like
Well, you
other-
could just plug in a USB-C from your phone to the controller too if you want. Just
of course,
hardline it, and
yeah.
It just works
I don't
like
know why I didn't think
Betaflight.
of that.
But yeah, it'll do Wi-Fi too, I think.
Yeah. So, well, some flight controllers have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth built into
I
it,
think
but
the
that's- I've
Wi-Fi
seen the
stuff,
Speedy
Speedy
B
B
stuff.
might really be better to just use their app though. Like those native Speedy B flight controllers, I've seen people use that app. That works awesome.
Yeah.
And I owned a Diatone flight controller that had the built-in Wi-Fi, and I just used Speedy B. I think I use Speedy B app for that too.
Yeah.
They seem to have that Wi-Fi link down pretty well through the Speedy B app.
Is Race 1 dead? I mean, I started
Race
when
One?
Yeah, I started when Clean Flight was a thing. I was
Flight
flying
One?
with Clean Flight.
There
You remember the green logo?
Special guest.
Hey, dude.
Look at that. We do look alike. Yeah, flight one is dead as dead can be, and if I hope Preston is in hiding somewhere
Yeah.
like a criminal.
Oh, yeah, I heard some. I'm not going to talk about that. I don't know enough to talk about it, but I know somewhat from Joshua Bardwell's live stream a while ago. He talked about it.
Yeah. So he owes lots of people lots of money
Yes. Yep.
and
Just
lots
whole-
of product.
Lots of product. And what's stupid
Yeah.
is you can go to a site today and buy something.
Still
That-
to this day, right now
It
you
says-
can.
Yeah, you can go put your money in and pay for something and never ever get it.
Yep.
And it's been like that for
that's
how many
crazy.
years? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's so stealing. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
I don't
he
know
owes
how
me-
you could do that and like not be worried about like going to prison or getting fined or like some sort of repercussion
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah,
you know?
there's got to be something.
It might take some time, but man.
I've had an order in since like January 29th, 2019.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And every now and then I'll message them and just be like, "Hey, ever gonna get that order?" I mean, I know I never am, but
Yeah,
it's just fun at this point.
it's ridiculous. Did you use Clean Flight though, Shotgun?
I was a diehard Flight One guy for several years.
Flight One? Is Clean Flight Flight One or no?
No.
No.
Clean
No,
flight is like
Clean Flight.
pre-beta flight.
Pre-beta flight, yeah,
Yeah.
because I used Clean Flight, like that was my first configurator for a brushed like 85 or 75 whoop, and then I bought a Blade Conspiracy 220 when they first made them by E-Flight, and that was a Clean Flight configured drone with an is it F2, F1 board? I don't know. It was so like crappy that I went through like 4 of those flight controllers in a year. You just had issues with them like crazy. You couldn't have the gyro like, and the PID loop was at like 1 kilohertz or whatever.
Sounds about right.
So if you turned anything up or tried to black box at the same time as having the accelerometer on, it would freaking brick out. It was bad. But I feel like we came a long way. You know, beta flight's amazing. I it's hard to use sometimes because there's so much to do on there, but we've came a long way from configuring and being able to really tune the heck out of these quads and have a sloppy tune and it still fly really well, you know.
Yeah.
But
that 7-inch quad that Nate's got the identical one. He just put Beta Flight 4.5 on there and just used stock default PIDs.
Yep.
I think even stock default rates. That thing just flew beautiful.
yeah.
Did you need something, or are you just having fun watching yourself?
Just hanging out.
I'm poking at this invisible couch.
Just don't go backwards too far, otherwise you're gonna disappear.
Fall through that glass wall back there.
Yes, the reason why I even tried Flight 1 is because I was bitching to a guy who I was technically sponsored with for a minute before he closed up shop. I was just bitching to him about Beta Flight once and just like, I mean, it's like I got to watch 8 YouTube videos before I even do something on Beta Flight with my drone. And he's like, man, you got to try it, because this was still when it was originally called Race Flight. And then they changed it to Flight 1 when the lawsuit and shit happened.
Yeah.
But he's like, you need to try Race Flight. So I bought one of their boards and set it all up. And because I mean, you've used, I mean, 4.4 has it. Well, you know how Beta Flight has the motor wizards and stuff now, and the directions and stuff. Race Flight had that.
It had it a long time ago. Yeah, I remember that because I had the Race Flight controller. I forgot which one it was, but when I was using the configurator, I was like, wow, this feels like I'm using an Apple compared to, you know, an Android, where it's like there's really limited options. It feels like, but it was so intuitive to use.
Yeah, it was so user friendly.
Yeah, but I got bricked out of like 2 flight controllers on that one though too, because of their USB driver issues and stuff. But I don't know.
And I do not like that motor configurator in Beta Flight.
No,
maybe I'll give 4.5 another try.
It's so easy.
I've had so many issues with that thing, man. Like sometimes it's worked great, but I've had it like spaz and want to run motors like right to the roof, like
your
several
ESC
times too, man. Where I want to unplug the battery because it's gonna fry my whole quad.
you got to update. You got to do the update on your ESCs before you try to use it.
See, I'm a racer though, man. I keep my firmware. I update my whole fleet on a regular basis. Like I have like more cutting edge than like 90% of. Oh yeah, like everything is like latest of latest.
See, I would think that.
So I don't know.
Not having a good
and I don't know,
update
man. I've tried it. I'm gonna say on like 3 or 4 occasions, it totally like spazzed my quad. So I'm just like, nope, I'm just doing it in BL Hilly now because I don't want my quad freaking out on the bench like that.
And I'm usually the guy who finds out all the crazy quirks and stuff. Like I'm constantly on like the Bladed Fury has a chat, and I'm constantly in there being like, what the hell's up with this? What the hell's up with that? And they're like, did you do this? Did you do that? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something weird or what, but
I don't know. That is weird.
Yeah, that is. I think with that new software, I think I've configured 7 or 8 drones now because I had to do something for Seth too. Like he was buying a bunch, and we bought a bunch of used ones from a guy. Dude was selling. He was selling like 5-inch drones and tiny whoops for $50 a pop. So we bought like 8 drones or 9 drones, but I had to update and configure them. And like when I did that, I flashed them to the like default PIDs, and I had to do the motor configuration on like pretty much all of them, and it was so easy. I had no issues every single time. Like when I went to go test fly every single drone besides one whoop, it was immediately perfect. The one whoop that I was having issues with is I think that there was something weird on the board where it was making a motor go backwards, and I forgot what I did. I had to do something in CLI commands, but
I remember that.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the one I barely ever fly still, even though I got it fixed.
All right, buddy.
I always put new ESCs in and go right into BL Hilly and update those firmwares. So then I've just made it part of my workflow to like do the motors there and just avoid that thing. I should probably give it another try. Maybe they fixed it. You know, it might have been on like 4.2 or something where it wasn't.
It's just you, John.
Probably it's just me.
Yeah, I mean, God, Raceflight even had like it would detect your receiver and everything, and like it would automatically do your stick ends and stuff. You just everything was just a wizard.
Oh, I didn't know it did endpoints already.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't figure that part out.
Yeah, towards like when they came on with the Falco stuff, I mean, it was literally you didn't have to do nothing. In fact, towards the end, you didn't even need a computer. You could do it all on the OSD. Like you could take a freshly built quad and just plug in a battery and do all the configurations right in the goggles.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome. But then unfortunately, Preston had to go and do what he did.
Yep.
I always think they can do more with camera angle mix. Are you guys familiar with camera angle mix feature?
No.
I've seen it, but I've never messed with it.
So people don't really use it too much because it's weird. But what camera angle mix does is you tell it what degree you're going to be flying at. So like if you're going to be flying at 45 degree, it like cross coordinates your sticks at 45 degrees. So like your quad just turns like right on a nice axis, and the flight controller's doing that for you.
Yeah.
So like the problem with it is it only works good at that exact angle that you set it. It's not dynamic. So as soon as you're not at 45 degrees, then it starts acting wonkier than ever, because it's still trying to like hold this flat horizon. But if you turn camera angle mix on to like 45 and then fly right at 45, your quad will just like rotate on that horizon like locked. Now,
oh wow!
I don't understand. They have that gyro, and I'm not like an expert at this, but the quad has that gyro data. You would think they'd be able to make that more dynamic, and then just have like a nice yaw turn that the flight controllers help, assisting you to keep flat.
Yeah,
more or less. That seems like that would be such a useful feature, like a partly assisted flat yaw turn for cinematography specifically, but I think even like racers, like whoop racers or something might really like. I think like whoop racers have actually been chasing some of that longer. What's the like an emu flight and stuff? They tweaked things a little bit to like change with the angle modes and stuff. I'm not current on it anymore, but
yeah, I don't even know.
But I always feel like camera angle mix, there could be real room for improvement there that could be like useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emu is pretty well dead too, as far as I know. It hasn't been updated, or it's been basically DOA for quite a while. I think Betaflight and Kiss are the only surviving ones.
Who was the guy that did the Macula tunes for whoops?
It was
Project Mockingbird.
Oh, Mockingbird, yeah.
Oh, Mockingbird.
Dude, if you don't know what Project Mockingbird
I know what Project
nice tunes. Yeah. He seemed like a big driver behind, whether it was directly or indirectly, like when he was doing all those tunes hardcore, that was like the heat of the development of like Emu Flight 2. I think he was kind of driving some of that. And I don't know what happened to him, but he just fell off the radar.
Yeah. I think most people eventually do. They get. I've come to the conclusion that this is this hobby is like a flash fire. You know, you just get sucked into it, and then it's all you think about for a couple years, and then you kind of come to, and you're just like,
yeah,
holy crap, what have I been doing for 2 years? Let's take a break from this. Let's rediscover other things in life. I've done that like 4 times now in my FPV career.
Oh yeah, I've done that
So
too. I've stopped for. I mean, I don't think I ever like stopped not flying like for a full year or anything. Maybe stopped posting on YouTube, but like I got into car racing pretty hardcore and just didn't do it as much. But
I did some like big serious team-based gaming before I got into FPV too, and that's the same way. Like you had like a core group of the team, but then it was hardcore recruiting nonstop to keep the rest of it filled all the time because people come and go.
Yeah. Yeah. This would be a whole nother topic that we could do for a podcast called FPV Burnout. Like everybody else does a podcast.
Or pre-FPV.
Pre-FPV Burnout.
Yeah, because I used to be a musician, for crying out loud, but I got a whole room full of instruments over there that I haven't touched in 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a few other hobbies. I used to be a paintballer. We had a group of guys about 20 guys that played every weekend when I was in my like late teens, early 20s, and we had like rented welding cylinders and scuba tanks and had like a connection with bulk paintballs. So we were not like a professional field, but we were dealing on like a wholesale level to make it cheap for everyone.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, paintballing is fun. I gotta do that. I think your dad didn't do that sometime.
You guys had fun.
Yeah, that'd be
I've
fun.
only been shot by paintballs. I've never actually done it.
Oh, it's fun when you're actually doing it, but I think
It's expensive.
for one, it's so expensive nowadays. I think I went last time 3 years ago or 2 years ago, and I remember spending like $160 for the day, and I was renting a gun and everything. But when you're like, if you just are dicking around and you get shot, like if you're playing around at a park or something, then for me, like the shot hurts a lot more. But when you're like actually like going through the woods and you're so like focused in your goals and stuff, whatever game you're playing, when you get shot, like you don't even think about it until you're like the game is over and you're looking at yourself.
Someone
It's
just
like,
shoots you randomly and you're not expecting it. It's gonna hurt like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I've seen some bad ones though, man. We went to several scenario games that were like between like 300 and 600 players deep, and so it'd be like a weekend camping type game, and everyone would get like colored duct tape, so you're either like yellow or like red team or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were at fields that normally had like maybe like 6 different individual fields, and they'd open them all up, so you'd have like different terrain. You'd have like some of these like woods terrain, trench terrain, and they had like hay bales and like some castle kind of setup crap. And then they put up flags, so you have like they're scoring points over the weekend who occupies these flags. And if you get shot, you go to a med station and you sit there, and every 15 minutes they kick you back in. So it just goes nonstop as much as you want to play, basically. But like you get in such situations where you come around a tight corner or something, and there's a lot of people and it's close. And
right
like
there. Yeah.
Man, most people take it good, but some people, they just can't be cool about it, and they retaliate. And all of a sudden people are getting shot at like point blank range, and you get like, I saw some guys get shot in the neck that were like just bleeding, like straight up bleeding welts from like a little dispute on that stuff. That takes the fun out of it. But
yeah.
I have 7 perfect circle
it's always
scars
these
on my
guys
back.
that can't handle that scenario, that want to go run right up into the thickest battle too. Like, you know, if you're going there, you're gonna get it, you know.
Yeah.
But some of those were fun. We were at one where they actually had a biplane. A guy was like dropping water balloons out of the biplane, and some of them people have like
really.
Some of those guys get pretty serious if you go to some of these bigger games. Yeah,
that's crazy. Awesome. Was there like paint in the balloons?
Gotta be.
Yeah, they attempt. There's actually commercial like paint grenade products. They like take like surgical tube and they like pressurize it and put like a little
Holy
clip
crap.
on it. So when you throw that at someone and that clip pops off, it like bounces and blasts all over.
Huh. That's awesome. Now you're making me want to get into paintball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I still got a sweet gun in the basement, man. It'll do about just under 20 rounds a second. It's almost a solid stream. It's got a 200 round hopper. At that rate, it'll empty it in 10 seconds.
Maybe I'll
You
just
gotta be careful not to pull the trigger too much.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what IO has turned into, a big Orby gun war.
See, I want one of those gel blasters.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
I have 3.
You have 3 of them?
Yeah, I have the purple one. I still have Tyler's like AR looking one, and then I have mine. I have one that like makes you bleed if you shoot it up too close. It hurts. I don't know what
blaster?
a gel blaster, dude.
Really?
It'll make you bleed. Yeah,
Huh.
it is.
Wow.
It's like a BB gun. It's crazy, and you can get like competitive like gel BBs or billets that are harder, so they have a higher FPS and everything too. So I don't know. You can shoot
I just got one
stuff with it.
You've probably, if you've shopped for them and stuff, you've probably seen the one at Walmart, the one that's just like a rainbow of color. It's like orange, green, and like rainbow colored.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, well, that's the one. Somebody showed up at IO last year with a gel blaster, and then like in droves, we all went to the nearest Walmart and literally cleaned the entire store out, and like 3 other Walmarts in that county. And
that's awesome.
Everybody was walking around strapped with gel blasters for like the last 3 days of IO. It was awesome.
That's so awesome. Start shooting drones down and stuff.
Yeah, it was such an ordeal that because at the end of IO last year, they put out a survey, and one of the questions on the survey was, should gel blasters be outlawed? And I really hope everybody said hell no.
Yeah. That's fine.
There is an annoying aspect to them when you're tired and someone's just nonstop.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
stuff flying past you.
I'll fully admit that there is danger to them. I mean, if you get hit in the eye with one of those, you're screwed.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt like hell, and then IO is gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But
New waivers.
I'm gonna have fun with it until it happens.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that stuff inevitably does happen too, sooner or later. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your odds of it happening are pretty high when you're specifically shooting at people with like a bunch of them things. You know.
I got just sprayed in the face one night because I was like ducking behind a car and I popped out and they were just waiting for me and just like, but you know, I wore glasses thankfully, so none of them hit me in the eye, but I took several of them straight to the face.
Is it like a little pistol
Wear
one
the
that you got?
glasses. They're like, you'll be okay.
No, mine's like a machine gun.
Yeah,
I'm not a big gun nut, so I mean, it has a stock and everything, and I even bought like a red dot scope to put on it. It's got a rail on the top and everything. I wish I had it down here, but it must be upstairs somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good one. Mine is like I think 300 FPS.
Yeah,
so they have ones that go up quite a bit though.
This one has an XT30 in it.
300 is pretty fast.
And then when we all like were opening them up, because like me and the Bladed Fury guys all went and got them at the same time, and we came back and we're like, holy shit, it's an XT30, and it's only supposed to be 2S, and so of course we all threw 3S on it, and it's just like
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. They're a lot of fun.
Seth, welcome back. You just missed like the best part of the podcast. We're talking about.
I had to take my nephew home.
Oh dang, you were gone for. I didn't know you were actually leaving. That's funny.
Yeah, I had to go drop him off. He's here from town.
I didn't even read the message all the way.
Your mic sounds awesome.
Yeah, he has.
Does mine sound that good?
Yeah, thanks. I got a whole tuning software, and this mic was maybe $40.
I got a $50 mic, and I just don't know how to tune it.
Yeah, this
you
was
just
like
have good,
$30 on
nice
Amazon.
space.
My headset, I need this special software to run my headset. So I have an equalizer for my headset, equalizer for my mic, and then I can control everything. Yet again, this headset was $350.
So you're like a computer nerd then.
I am a gamer, yes.
Okay.
A computer nerd that doesn't know how to program his damn drones. I have to do all of
Instead
them.
of games, really made
Yeah,
I
we
never
all
got
start
taught,
somewhere.
man. But no,
You
if you
gotta-
need a new computer built, let me know. No charge for you guys.
awesome.
Sweet.
Right on.
Yeah. That's fun.
That's always good to know a computer guy because I know next to nothing about computers. So, man, that's like awesome just to have like simple like what should I buy kind of question. Like I just want a like basic laptop. Like what's a good one?
Yeah.
That's all I did. I have a couple of friends that are total computer nerds, and I just asked one of them, I was like, just make me a list. I'll buy it. You build it. And now I have a sweet computer. Well, at least it was a sweet computer 3 years ago. Now it's probably like bottom tier or maybe lower mid tier. I don't know. I
It's
know
better than my computer. I can guarantee you that because I got mine from a high school. It's a used high school.
I think like
Yeah,
a power
so
source or something in my tower finally crashed, man. I was like, it was like late at night and most of the lights off in my house, and I'm like walking past my bathroom and like my computer PC in my spare office like comes on out of the blue and like scares the crap out of me. Lights like splash on.
No,
But then I couldn't get it to. I've been meaning to like discontinue this PC tower for a while, but like it's like I think I got everything cleaned off of there that I want, but I was always meaning to do like one more quick like run through before I threw it out.
Yeah.
But now it
Give me a
just
budget, I got you.
now it just powers up and shuts off and powers on and shuts off, and I finally had to unplug it because it just won't stop. It just keeps power cycling indefinitely.
It's possessed.
Jeez.
I think it's done. It's kind of a relief too, because I'm pretty sure there's nothing real important out there, and now I don't have to organize those files if I can never turn it on again.
Can't you pull the hard drive out of it still?
Yeah,
into that?
I'm
and
sure
then
I could
you can
take it
convert it
out.
to a solid state hard drive and then
what
keep
you
it.
can do is on your current computer you can buy like these adapters and then plug it into a USB and you can get all the files off it after you rip it out of the computer.
Yeah. I'll probably end up building a new PC at some point, so maybe I will get a hold of you when I get to that.
Yeah, just
I
give me a
bought a
budget
new
price.
laptop for it now, so
Yeah.
that's got I needed something better for my CAD, boy. I just was getting to the point where that old tower was the load times were so long and the save times were so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need them to come up with like a 5080 or something so the 4080s are super cheap and I can upgrade my 2080. Because
You could have been speaking German. I don't even know what any of that is.
I went from a
graphics card.
3080.
Oh.
Yeah.
I went from a 3080 Ti to a 4070 Ti Super.
Yeah, that's the big dog right now still, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm waiting for them to come out with another one so I can snag up a 40.
Sometime this year.
What's that?
It comes out
sometime
sometime this year.
Awesome. Good to know.
Yeah,
Sounds
your
like Ted
your
needs to hop
video.
up on it.
Yeah, I don't know. your video of shotgun that I posted on YouTube today crashed my computer. I had to reset my old computer because when I tried to run it.
Oh, that's
I mean,
hilarious. Well, that's
worst
good.
case scenario, you just give me the information. I can upload it with mine if we need to.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
'Cause-
something on, I think, YouTube. I was looking into it that I can make, like, editors on the YouTube channel where all I do is, like, post on it. I don't know. I have to figure out how to make a second, like,
Oh, so we
helper
can
account
have all
so
access
you can have
to it.
access to it. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there is a way.
I export my videos at a crazy bit rate just to deal with the compression and whatnot that YouTube and everything does to it.
Yeah. I had to dumb the video down in my video editing software, and then I had to basically create like it's called a proxy file for it, And so when I went to actually export it, it took the high quality one and exported it with that instead of what the one I was editing. But that's how I try to get around with editing 4K video and shit.
You had to do that with my video?
Your video was not even 4K. It was like 2.7K, I think, or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, at least when the way it picked it up through the Dropbox. And so I don't know, I had to do that, and like the only downside about all of that is the proxy file just to create that, like to make that, it takes like 30 minutes to an hour to make it on my computer. So I have to sit and like let it upload for like almost an hour and then go back and edit it and then let it upload to YouTube for 45 minutes, and it's like, I don't know. Yeah, it takes forever.
You really need to have self-built computer.
Yeah.
He's refusing. I'm trying.
What do it?
I even took him to Best Buy and pointed out a couple of pre-builts, and he's like, "Oh, I'll think about it."
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep giving you crap until you get one.
It's the best money I've ever spent. Because I mean, I used to be super into video games too, and then I didn't even realize how just glorious the video game world is on PC. I mean, I have an Xbox One underneath there that I literally haven't turned on in 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just absolutely no reason to.
I just sold my Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, I would, but what do you get for like $20 nowadays? I mean,
I had the newest one, so I got $400 for it.
Yeah, I have like the first Xbox One, you know, so it's probably worth $20.
I think it's like 80, but
yeah,
not worth it.
Yeah, I'll just give it to my kid,
you for it,
you know.
Yeah.
When my kid gets too old for the Switch, I'll just give him my Xbox.
Oh, you can never get too old for the Switch. I have 3 of them.
Well, I own a hot air soldering station because my kid ripped an HDMI port out of his Xbox. So I successfully desoldered and resoldered an HDMI port. Has like 50 little micro pins.
Yeah, dude. Like I don't think I could do that. I have a really nice solder stand, and I don't know if I could do that.
It was hot air soldered, so you solder paste and you just heat it up and it just sucks all down. It's if you guys have never done hot air soldering, I was thinking about doing some hot air soldering like tutorial videos. It's amazing because it's a lot easier than you would guess in a lot of cases. My buddy that flies fixed wings did one of these PCBs that has like the bigger pins.
Yeah,
it had like 50 of these pins, you know, and he'd go in there and solder all these by once, man. We smeared some of this paste on there and you hit it with the hair dryer and you just watch that stuff just like goes to all the pins and turns into these nice little balls, and it's done in like 2 seconds, you know.
Wow.
It looks really cool to watch and it looks so easy, but I've tried it once and all I did was blow like 4 chips off the board and was like, well, that's over.
That's what you got to watch out for, though. It does heat everything. So, like, stuff still looks like it's in place, but if you bump it, the other chips and stuff will move sometimes.
Wow.
But it's about, like, mostly you just got to buy good solder paste and, like, good flux paste and, like, use real minimal amount. Like, there's a lot of videos on it, but it looks like it might be like real high tech and like real scary to do, but when you actually do it, it's like, no, this is actually pretty sweet. Like, and in certain things, it makes it real easy. But yeah, that's how I got into hot air soldering. My kid destroyed an Xbox and I fixed it.
I have like 700 flight controllers and ESCs I can send you. If you want to.
I did successfully repair an ESC once too, man. I took a MOSFET chip off an ESC and put a new MOSFET in, and it didn't last for long. It burnt out again. There must have been some other issues,
but there's got to be something.
But it was totally fried, and I replaced this mini little ass chip, and then it did fly again a few laps before it burnt up again. So like, I was still proud of myself.
It's a win in my book.
You know, to get it like to work at all was like, I'm impressed. And I fixed a remote ID module with it, man. I got this brand new remote ID module and scraped the tiniest diode on earth off of there. And I went to DigiKey or one of those circuitry places. I think it was DigiKey. and I ordered the very, very smallest one they had, and it was still bigger than the one that came from like China, but it was like small enough that so it was an $80 remote ID module, and I bought a $10 10 cent pack of diodes that took like 6 months to get here. And I also bought a video microscope to be able to see good enough to do it. And then I repaired this son of a bitch. And
Wow.
I think it worked.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I've gotten some use out of that thing. Like once you have one, then you're empowered. You're like, I could totally fix a remote ID module because I'm a professional hot air solderer.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know the herder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all about that stuff too. He actually has like a thermal camera. So when you if you have a ESC that's got a bad FET, but you're not sure which one, you plug it in and it starts to glow.
Hardcore.
He's like, oh, that's the bad one.
Wow. That's
I mean, you could really save yourself some money on parts if you legit learn. But I think you need to learn some troubleshooting with it too, so you could test that ESC with a meter or something. Because even though I was able to replace a part, I didn't fully understand the problem, so I only kind of half-ass fixed it.
Yeah, well, it could have been another MOSFET that was bad.
Something
too,
further up
something
the
else.
chain was still bad, I didn't get far enough.
Yeah.
But what's interesting though, now that I'm doing some of this hot air soldering, I clicked on a couple Facebook things about soldering. Now I get all these Facebook ads for cell phone repair stuff, man. And these cell phone repair guys they do crazy things, man. When these cell phones burn up, they pull these chips off, and there's 100 of these little spots, and you'll see 6 of them will be black that burned up, and they'll scrape these tiny little spot off and take the tiniest little wire and curl it up and epoxy it over these burnt spots, and then grind it back, and it then they'll put this big ass chip back over the top, and that cell phone will work again. It doesn't seem like it would possibly ever work, but
yeah,
there's a whole market for these precision little tools for doing these cell phone repairs like that. The videos are really awesome to watch, though.
Yeah.
They make these stencils, though, so all these chips have tons and tons of pins. And they'll put a metal stencil over it that has that exact layout, and then squeegee this flux that has the solder built in over it, and it'll perfectly flux and solder every one of those spots. So then it's just about getting that chip on there straight, and then they just heat it up, and it's just good. It's really not that hard. The hardest part is aligning it super good and not bumping everything while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeez Louise.
Far out.
Well, Rachel, I was going to ask you just before we end the stream. You've been up to flying a little bit, so I'll let you fully share it. So you started flying a tiny whoop. We got you a Radio Master. You haven't been on this podcast in 4 months.
Not 4 months. It's been a couple months.
Yeah.
I'm always working.
Yeah.
I'm always working on Fridays. I don't know. I've only flown a little bit since the last time I talked, but gotten a little better.
Yeah.
That's kind of about it.
She probably has 100 packs through her tiny whoop by now. Probably only about 30 or 40 of them with the new remote, but yeah, she's getting better. Not flying in with any gyros or anything like that turned on, so she's flying in full acro, I think. Mm-hmm. But
I have a new frame for
Who's
it.
trying to get in?
Everything else. What?
Sounds like somebody's pounding on the door.
Oh, that's my keyboard. Sorry.
Oh.
Messing with the keyboard.
This microphone is really good.
It is really good.
Yeah, I've been flying that 533 bind and fly whoop. It's crazy what a 17-gram whoop can do these days. It's just
crazy.
Yeah.
You can literally freestyle fly them, and it takes it fairly well. The thing that I still to this day can't fully adjust to is how fast the battery sags. You can be, say, halfway into your pack. You don't know when it's going to happen, but you're just going to have no more torque, no more power. And so when you're trying to freestyle with that on a tiny whoop, it's you go to do a punch or a power loop or whatever, and you have no stick command that you did just 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to get around that. You see that in my video I just posted. It's like I was trying to do a Matty flip when I bounced off of the ground after I crashed before. And I was trying to go backwards underneath that bridge and then do a power loop back around it. And like, I can see myself, I watched my throttle percentage drop to go into it. And then I full throttle it like 7 feet off the ground. And it should have recovered from that, but it didn't. It just slapped into the rubber ground, and I had to recover and keep going to make the video good.
Hold on a sec.
We didn't do my frame.
That's right. You got a bunch of pink
canopy.
parts and everything.
Nice.
Yeah. Got pink canopies, pink props, pink frame. I bought you pink props. At least I ordered them. They didn't come. They came orange.
I thought you ordered orange.
Mm-mm.
No, 'cause
Yeah,
they
I had
have
to
the
put a
white ones
throttle
on.
curve on that freaking 533 bind and fly. I couldn't even handle. I couldn't even fly it in my basement. It's so freaking light and powerful.
Yeah.
I'd be in my ceiling half the time. I had to, and I like to fly in angle mode with whoops, but I actually turn the angle mode strength way down, so it's almost like acro.
That's what I like to do with them.
Yeah. So you can
Full acro is a little too much, but you want it a little less rubber bandy or whatever.
And you can't put, if you're in angle mode, you can't put on throttle expo because it just doesn't work with angle mode. So I had to put it in my radio. I actually put a throttle curve in my radio so I can stay out of my ceiling, and actually fly in a straight line and not just like, because it's so freaking light.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I actually discovered that I love how that throttle curve in my radio feels on my race rigs. So now I use it on everything.
Yeah. And it's easy to adjust right on your controller.
Mixing with my radio too.
I feel like I don't tune my stuff enough. I feel like I just fly default crap way too much and don't even. I just set it and forget it.
I mean, with 4.5,
You should try some of those race presets or some of those freestyle presets, man. Some of those are pretty nice tunes that will work for like a variety of most 5-inch. Some of those 5-inch freestyle tunes will work for damn near every
pretty much anything,
and it'll give you a little more edgy performance.
Yeah,
like fundamentally, it doesn't fly like a lot different. What they're trying to usually do with that is try to like follow your set point. So when you black box log it, it tracks your sticks, and that would be your set point. And then it's also tracking your gyro. And if your gyro is lagging behind or overshooting, then they're tuning to try to get it closer to locked into that set point. It gives you more locked in feel. Doesn't really affect how the quad flies in general, though. That's kind of a mistake I think people get when they think about tuning. It's going to fly about the same as it ought.
Yeah, it's
just going to be more responsive.
More responsive. Yeah. And I get that 100%. And I bounce between 10 or 11 different quads that I have to flying around, and it's like obviously every single one flies slightly different. You can tell, what one's going to slide into a corner more or whatever, or slide through a loop better. And it's, how do I explain this? I just feel like I adapt myself to that more than trying to tune the quad to it. I just adapt for that sloppiness the best I can. I 100% have been doing this long enough that I know for a fact I could pick up anything and fly it, but without even a good tune on it.
I think part of chasing tunes is having some consistent quads. If you're always switching quads, it maybe doesn't pay to put that much time and effort into it. When you look at my fleet, I have like identical stuff, so it pays to put the time into getting a tune that works really good for one. Because once it works good for one, it'll work good for all of them. But I used to be real into tuning, and now I don't. I just there's a tune called the Karate Race tune, and I'm gonna say probably like 75% or better of like race pilots just slap that karate tune on their 5-inch now, and that's what everyone uses because it's just a good tune.
Yeah.
And they got like several freestyle tunes, I think, that are like well respected like that too, that just work good on your average 5-inch freestyle rig.
Teddy, someday we should get together and you should take this thing for a spin.
Oh my god.
That thing's so big it's getting chopped out of your video. Holy crap. Do you fly your cats with that thing or what?
Do I what?
Shit. You fly your cats with that thing? Cats
I
just
could.
sit on it and
Oh my gosh.
I've seen that thing in person, but you know, it never fails to impress. But it impresses even more in person. I'll tell you what. When you hear that thing
Let's see if
fly
I can get
past you,
this out of here real quick.
it sounds like an airliner going past you.
Trying to turn this off real quick.
I think I can make your video bigger. Yeah.
How do I? There we go.
That is a beast.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's with the batteries in it, it's 26 pounds.
Holy bucket. That's an Amazon
So a
delivery
speedy
drone.
quad's like
Yeah.
2.5 pounds.
Yeah, the I mean, compared to a 5-inch, you know, I mean, the 5-inch is just as big as one of the props.
Yeah. That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, it
I
is.
want to fly that. I do want to fly that.
This is the only thing that gets my heart racing anymore is flying this thing.
Yeah.
And it's
Like,
it's
that
literally
looks-
because I know that it is a minimum of $400 if you crash.
Oh, heck yeah.
And Catalyst Machine Works isn't a thing anymore. So if once this thing gets crashed, that's pretty much it. Unless unless I find another beast class frame that I can just transplant it to. But yeah, this thing's awesome. It like just cruises at like 75 miles an hour, like quarter throttle, 75 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. And it sounds
I bet you it sounds scary.
Oh, it sounds
yeah.
crazy.
What's the
John's
runtime?
seen it
What's
in
the-
action.
Yeah. It looks humongous in this video right now too, but it like almost looks bigger in person. Like when you see those motors in person, that motor looks like the size of an apple in person, you know? It's not a small drone motor.
You see this area here, like 2 6S packs slide in there and just like clip in. So there's like a battery tray and everything. They just slide in there, it clips in.
How
and
many
you
miles are your
I could fly a
packs?
tiny whoop through that gap.
Yeah, you could, yeah. I mean, I had my DSLR strapped to it once, and it, you know, I couldn't even feel it. You could slap a red on that, and you wouldn't even feel it.
Jeez. What size are the batteries?
4,000 mAh 6S, but in series, so it's 12S.
12S, yeah.
So yeah, like 8,000 mAh 12S technically.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's wild. It's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
If you ever do crash it, and you save the carbon, I can always copy it and have your new carbon cut, man.
Wow.
There you go.
Well, that's good
Designing
to
your
know.
carbon would take me 5 minutes.
I mean, the arms are literally just carbon tubes that I'm sure you could just buy anywhere.
My
mean,
supplier sells those tubes. Yeah, I don't have any reason to buy them, but they sell them. But like your base plates and stuff, I could redesign that in no time flat if ever needed.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't even. I hope you can still get the motors and stuff. I don't even know. It's been it's been forever since I've even looked for.
It's not typical parts that you're gonna find at every old drone store. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. Jeez. Have you ever power looped anything with it?
Oh,
Power
I've
loop it. Power, yeah, you got to power loop everything.
yeah. I power looped a 5-inch or 5x5 gate with it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I've Matty flipped windmills with it. I mean, there's a video on my YouTube channel where I'm just bombing through my home park just like it's a 5-inch. You know, obviously I'm not hitting some of the tree gaps because it's you know
it's
a foot
huge.
wider.
Yeah.
But I'm just bombing all the gaps and everything. And
Send me a link. I'll put it in the description here to that video whenever you can. You don't have to do it right now, but
okay. Yeah, I
I'm
just
sure other people want to see it.
I've only
The
done
FPV cam of that quad is interesting for some reason too. You know, like I don't know why you can tell it's not a big quad for some reason. It's still just FPV footage, but
like putting a tiny whoop camera on a 5-inch.
I've watched him fly it through the goggles, and man, it looked like you could just tell that camera's on a different drone.
Yeah. Because it just. I mean, I don't know. The only way to describe it is if you've ever happened to drive something like a 76 Cadillac or something like that. It's like it feels like you're not even driving a car. It feels like you're driving a boat down the freeway.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it feels like. But when you get on it, though, you can still just rip it around. It just.
Is there any quirks? Like,
what's that?
Is there any quirks? Like, does it get floaty or like weird and sharp corners or anything? Because I thought I saw someone do a build like this on Rotor Riot or something, and they could like do a sharp split S with it, and it would like dossiate, or it would do that drop thing that tiny whoops used to do.
Yeah, no,
I've seen him do some pretty aggressive stuff.
The only thing,
nice.
The biggest thing you got to do is just remember that you're not flying a 5-inch.
Yeah,
and remember that gaps need to be like literally a foot wider.
Yeah, see, I saw you go around a big pine tree at FPV Palooza, and like it probably would have been plenty of clearance with a 5-inch, but it was like hair, like trying to skip close with that thing.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. And someday I will crash it, and it will be tragic, but I'm gonna have fun with it until I do.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
it's about that time,
I'd be trying.
All right. Well, we'll wind her down. We got so much to talk about. I think we should do this again sometime. Maybe in June we could do another podcast. I don't know what. I think that every summer is just kind of getting booked up. Mm-hmm. I know that we all want to meet up and go fly. We gotta at least do that once this summer so we can say we can do it. So,
yeah, right.
I should be kind of prepared gear-wise pretty quick here. I've been a little bit held up just with not really having the right quads flying. I only have race stuff going right now, but
yeah. How do you guys want to go about it? Should we like set a date or set like 5 dates and start voting for what days work out best?
We probably should look at the calendar a little bit because my summer is getting booked up too.
Yeah.
To meet up and fly or podcast?
To fly. I'm sorry. I'm talking about flying. Yeah. The podcast, I don't care. It's a hit or miss. I mean, people can wait. We'll just do it whenever.
It's kind of how it's been.
It's how it's been. And I mean, I don't know. I don't want to piss off people that actually watch it because some of these get a lot of views. There's a couple out there that have like over 300 or 400 people that watched it, but nice. And then our Spotify is high too, which I still haven't uploaded new videos. I always forget about Spotify. It's such a pain in the ass to do.
I don't know how to do it, so.
But
I hate Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about this? So let's end the stream here. And then let's just briefly talk about a couple dates that we can maybe vote for. Is that okay with you guys?
Sure.
Okay. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching. And we'll talk whenever we do a live stream again, right?
Yep, I may or may not be there.
Yeah.
My name is Rachel from Blade Outlaws. We'd like to thank Turtle Mode FPV for sponsoring our video. Please be sure to check out the 7-inch heavy metal spec racing frame on turtlemodefpv.com and the YouTube channel at Turtle Mode FPV. Thank you.